Good evening, everybody, and welcome. It is time for El Dorado Bronco baseball. Kurt Caden along with Avery Osen as we get ready to bring you all the action here tonight from beautiful McDonald Stadium in El Dorado. Let's get you the starting lineup, the batting order. For the Liberal BJs, as they're in town for the weekend series, they'll lead off with Zach Redding in center field. Kyle Leeser, the shortstop, bats second. Brady Cox is the catcher. He'll bat third. Zach Hoffman at first base, bats fourth. Seth Stevens, the DH, will bat fifth. Mike Rampone at third, bats sixth. Alec Isaac in left field, batting seventh. Brian Haberstroh at second base, bats eighth, and Robert Duggar, the right fielder, will bat ninth. On the mound tonight for Liberal is Justin Schnedler.
For the El Dorado Broncos, starting in left field, Dylan Muka, followed by center fielder Sam Lane, and right field is Michael Muka. At third base, Max Hogan. The shortstop tonight is Morgan Oliver. At second base is Levi Parker. First base, Zach Fields. The catcher tonight is Cameron Knight. And tonight's starting pitcher for the Broncos, Jeremy McGowan.
Avery, I know on my lineup card it said Brian Cox, the catcher, but I looked on our roster and it's Brady Cox. So I'm sure you and I both put it in wrong. Beautiful night for baseball, and the first pitch from Jeremy McGowan is in there for a strike. Just another wonderful evening, Avery. The weather the last couple weeks, a little hot, but it's been really nice.
Yeah, it has been really nice, and we're going to get to take full advantage of that again tonight.
McGowan on the corner for strike two. Zach Redding is the leadoff batter here for the Liberal BJs. Redding, a sophomore outfielder from Grayson College. And he's from Dallas, Texas. McGowan, 3 straight strikes to ring up Redding, who never got the bat off his shoulder.
Something we're getting used to with Jeremy McGowan this summer is he's a very good pitcher, and he shows off his arm right there on the first batter. 3 pitches and a strikeout looking to start the night for McGowan.
He is from Esto, Florida. He goes to Troy University. Jeremy McGowan, the 6'3", 220-pound right-hander. The right-hander deals, and a bunt squared. It's in the air, and Max Hogan is just a step late of making a catch. So it's strike one on Kyle Leeser. McGowan has a 2.78 ERA in 32 and a third innings. He's pitched the most innings of anyone, Avery, and it's not because he's had that many more appearances. He just, when he goes out there, he gives you innings. And he is ahead 0-2. He has started this game with 5 straight strikes.
We've seen McGowan right here at McDonald Stadium throw a 9-inning complete game shutout earlier this season.
And the strike two pitch is just off the plate, the first ball of the night from McGowan. Good to see our grade A PA announcer, Bill Young, is here. Our grade A score crew is here. It's a fantastic night to be at the park, and just staying alive is Leeser as he taps one foul. And I believe we have a birthday girl in the crowd. I think our scorekeeper's got a birthday today. 39 again is what her husband told me. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Leeser. Curveball in there, strike 3, looking again. Cameron Knight sails one over Max Hogan's head down at third. But another strikeout looking for Jeremy McGowan. McGowan comes into this game 37 strikeouts to just 12 walks. So a really good strikeout to walk average, and now make that 39 strikeouts. So Brady Cox, the catcher, batting third for Liberal. No score. We're in the top of the first inning. So we say happy 39th birthday to Gina again tonight. Swing and a miss from Cox. We do invite any of you who might be watching and listening tonight to drop us a note. It is Parents' Weekend, but some of you may not have been able to get here, so we'd love to hear from you. Here's the pitch, fouled off. We also, it's not always this way, but the visiting radio tonight is someone I really like. Brock Kappelman does an excellent job on the play-by-play, and I know at home games they're able to do video. Here's Cox, slaps one up the middle, and that'll be a line drive base hit out to center field. Good job by Brady Cox to get that single. But I am not sure if the Liberal folks are able to get a stream tonight. So if you're rooting for Liberal tonight, my goodness, we'd love to hear from you. We've had pretty good success, Avery, from our Western Kansas visitors. The Hayes fans really got on board and loved being able to watch the 3-game series, and Dodge City was also very receptive. Of course, neither of those, I had a broadcast crew here, so with Brock here, I imagine some folks would just like to listen to him. I have no issues with that, but if they tune in, we'd love to hear from them as well.
Yeah, we're Broncos broadcasters, but the Liberal folk were glad that they are listening here tonight, and we invite you to listen tomorrow night and Sunday night as well.
Absolutely. Here's Zach Hoffman with 2 away in the top of the first inning. McGowan's pitch, and that's skied in the infield. Levi Parker will get underneath it and put it away to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. There was 1 man left on base, and we are through half an inning. Liberals 0 and El Dorado coming to bat. Stay tuned. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Bronco baseball here on YouTube.
Gina Short's birthday. Gina's one of our host parents. She actually has 2 players living in her house. Our shortstop, Morgan Oliver, and our first baseman tonight, Zach Fields, are living with the Short family tonight. Gina's celebrating her 39th birthday, so let's everyone out there stand up and say happy birthday as loud as you can on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Gina.
Yay!
Great scorekeeper. She's running the scoreboard up here with me as well. There you go.
Here's a celebrity. Yeah. 39 is not bad.
Yeah. But when it's your 20th anniversary of your 39th.
It still sounds good.
Yeah.
And welcome back here to El Dorado. Let's run down the lineups for both the Broncos and the fielding arrangement for the BJs. The batting order for the Broncos, they'll lead off with Sam Lane, the center fielder. Dylan Muka bats second and left. Clayton Dalrymple at DH bats third. Michael Muka fourth. Cameron Knight, who had a 2-run home run last night, will bat fifth. He's catching. Max Hogan, the third baseman, bats sixth. Zach Fields over at first base batting seventh. Morgan Oliver also homered last night. He bats eighth. And Levi Parker is batting ninth for the Broncos.
For the Liberal BJs in the field tonight, starting in left field, Alec Isaac. In center field is Zach Redding. In right field is Robert Duggar. At third base is Mike Rampone. The shortstop tonight is Kyle Leisure. At second base is Brian Haberstroh. And the first baseman is Zach Hoffman. As Lane hits the ball to Leisure, his throw to first gets Sam Lane by a step. Catching the ball tonight is Brady Cox, and he is catching the ball from starting pitcher Justin Schnedler.
Avery, for a moment, I thought Leisure might have been a little too leisurely there. Sam Lane can really get down the line, and Leisure took his time, but you know what? He knew his arm strength, and he was able to get him by a step. So I'm always amazed when you watch the major leagues how the shortstops always know exactly how long to hold on to it or exactly how hard they need to throw it. I mean, how many times the plays at first base are like bang, bang, but it's usually in the favor of the defense. So Dylan Muka at the plate, and he looks at strike one. Schnedler with a pitch, and it's a bunt down to third base, fielded by Liberal, and the throw goes into the Liberal dugout. It'll be a single and an error, maybe 2 bases for sure. Muka to third base, and a 2-base error against Mike Rampone. That was an excellent bunt from the left-handed batting Dylan Muka.
Designated hitter from Kansas State University, number 5, Clayton Dalrymple.
So Dalrymple will come up, and Avery, these Broncos coming into this game with a little chip on their shoulder after really a rough homestand where they never led. We documented that a lot on Monday and Tuesday. They lost to Wellington 9-2 or 7-1, and then lost 9-2 to Derby on Tuesday night. Had an off night Wednesday, came back last night and won 14-0 at Derby.
That was good to see. Great win. And we already see the momentum carrying over into this game.
Gary told me it was Colt Weiner on the mound who shut out Derby for 6 innings, and then the bullpen came up and said Derby hit the balls hard, but they were having similar luck that we've seen El Dorado have. Hit the ball hard, but at people. First pitch to Dalrymple in there for a strike. Curveball in there, strike 2. Really a must strikeout position here for Schnedler. If Dalrymple makes any contact, it should score Dylan Muka unless he hits one right back to the pitcher. 1 away. We're in the bottom of the first inning. No score. Broncos and BJs and the 0-2 pitch. Curveball again. 3 straight curves and a strikeout of Clayton Dalrymple.
Big strikeout there from Schnedler. As you said, the infield playing back there. So really any hit would have scored. Anything on the ground would have scored Dylan Muka. So a big strikeout there from Schnedler. We'll see if Michael Muka can pick up Clayton Dalrymple here.
Well, Michael's picked up teammates before. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Schnedler again over the top. That looked more of a fastball and a strike 1. Liberal BJs dressed in their red jerseys, the royal blue numerals, and it looks like gray pants. The Bronco uniform tonight, they've got the white vests with the black undershirts. Muka slaps one out to left field. It hangs up in there, and it is caught by Alec Isaac, and that will end the inning. No runs, a hit. There was an error and 1 left. We're through 1. Broncos and BJs tied at 0. Stay tuned. More live action from El Dorado coming up here on YouTube.
All right, Broncos fans, a reminder, tomorrow night, July 12th at 7 o'clock, right here at the Dallas Stadium, is Veterans Night. Come out tomorrow night to honor veterans. All veterans are asked to attend the game and be recognized for your service. So please come out and join us at the ballpark. Watch some great baseball right here against the Liberal BJs. Help us honor our veterans by saying thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedoms. In honor of Veterans Night tomorrow night, there's a quilt. You can buy raffle tickets for a quilt down in the pavilion. It was donated by the Sarah Care. It's a king-size quilt. Tickets are 1 ticket for $2 or 5 tickets for $10. All proceeds to cover veteran honor flights for Butler County. So you have to buy some tickets for the quilt. Give you an opportunity maybe to get a nice quilt out of it.
And welcome back. And no score after 1 inning. And Avery, we haven't seen Justin Schnedler yet this year. We have seen Jeremy McGowan. Both pitchers really mowing through that first inning. Looks like this could be a real good pitcher's battle tonight.
Yeah, it definitely will be. These 2 pitchers had very good first innings, and they'll probably carry that out through most of this game.
McGowan started the game with 2 looking strikeouts. And here's the opposite way fly ball caught by Morgan Oliver off the bat of Seth Stevens.
One of those things that the Broncos have been searching for all season is good starting pitching to get them into the 5th, 6th, 7th inning so the bullpen wouldn't have to come in so early, which we haven't seen here, especially last homestand. The Broncos starting pitchers really not performing at their best, but McGowan showing the crowd that he is in for a good time tonight. He's already had got out 4 of the first 5 batters.
Well, and Weiner last night goes 6 innings and didn't allow any runs. And now if you can get that from McGowan, you can really get that bullpen back in order, which, after an off day Wednesday and then Weiner's performance last night, really it should be there. But you would expect McGowan to even solidify that more.
Well, and what we've said all season is the Broncos really haven't had situational hitting and not great starting pitching. Well, if you put that together, the Broncos are a team to mess with. Just like about any team, if you can put those 2 things together.
Yeah, it's one of those games that, it's not rocket science what you have to do to play good winning baseball as the 2-1 pitch is right across the knees for the count to go to 2-2. If you can catch the ball all right, you can throw it all right. If you can string together some hits and have good pitching, you have a chance. It doesn't matter who you are. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander, Jeremy McGowan's got his sign and brings it in, and a swinging strike out of Mike Rampone. So 2 away here in the top of the 2nd inning, and it'll bring up Alec Isaac. Alec Isaac is a freshman from Cisco College out of Louisville, Texas. He wears the old school stirrups. I like that look. Pants pulled up to the knees as he gently taps one foul. No balls and a strike. You know, I think, Avery, saying how good my memory is just for this first 2 innings, but I think McGowan has thrown strike one to lead off almost each batter. It makes such a difference. There's the strike one pitch. It's fouled off strike two. I mean, if you can get ahead 0-1, 0-2, I mean, you just so many things you can do. But when we've seen at times some of the Bronco pitchers constantly getting to 1-0, 2-0, and then all of a sudden you're really kind of squeezed in what you can do. 2 away in the bottom, or in the top of the second inning, and McGowan. There's a check swing, foul ball by Isaac. Brian Haberstroh waits on deck for the BJs. Great night to be at the yard. If you're watching anywhere in Butler County, I invite you to come on out. You can watch our broadcast on an archive later. Here's an 0-2 pitch from Jeremy McGowan, and it's in there, and a strikeout. Knight will have to retire him down to first base, and does. A clean second inning for Jeremy McGowan. We're through 1.5. Broncos and BJs tied at 0.
Broncos fans, another announcement. The Flint Hills Truck Pullers Association and the Friends of El Dorado Lake present a truck and tractor pull at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon, July 13th. At the El Dorado State Park, Walnut River area. Gates open at 12. The kiddie pull is from 1 to 3. And then the Friends of the El Dorado Lake Truck and Tractor Pull is at 3 o'clock. Again, that's Sunday, July 13th at the El Dorado State Park, Walnut River area. Admission, adults 5 to 12 is $5. 13 and is $10. Assuming number 5, you get it free. So, park permits are included in the admission price. Food vendors are available. So come on out to the El Dorado State Park, Walnut River area, and watch the Friends of the El Dorado Lake Truck and Tractor Pull Sunday at 3.
Thank you. Broncos and BJs. 0-0. We head to the bottom of the second inning. And you know, Avery, we've seen all sorts of games this year. 22-8. We've seen 9-8, and we've seen 8-7. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of game it is. This great game, it can excite you in so many ways. And here tonight, just seeing the way the pitchers are starting off, it looks like we're in for a pitcher's battle. And you know, we haven't seen one of those in a little while, but it's kind of exciting to see two guys really dialed in and kind of commanding their pitches. So many times in the last couple of weeks, we've just seen, you know, a lot of hit batters and walks and whatnot. It's fun to see pitchers throwing in the zone and challenging hitters.
Yeah, we're in for a great pitching duel tonight with Schnedler and McGowan.
Cameron Knight, a one-hopper out to shortstop. Leeser will throw him out for the first out of the inning.
Well, and something that, you know, just goes with great pitching is usually great defense, because you really keep your players on their toes. And it seems like when you're not walking batters and hitting batters, they're more likely to make those diving plays, or even the routine plays. It seems like they go hand in hand.
Well, certainly in a 16-inning game like we had here on Sunday night with Derby, you can have some, you know, there's certainly some leeway, but when Sam Lane tripled, I remember just looking out at left field and center field and seeing both those outfielders almost just on their heels. And it wasn't that they had terrible pitching that night, but there wasn't a lot of pace to it, and they just kind of got stuck. And you know, you really keep your infielders and your outfielders on your toes when you're around the plate and guys are having to swing.
Well, and like you said, they're both Schnedler and McGowan are fast workers.
Yes. 2 balls and a strike. They're working so fast we barely get the names out. Max Hogan flips one out to left field, and again that one hangs up, and Alec Isaac runs it down for the catch.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos or the BJs happen to get someone on, maybe seeing a bunt or something like that, because I think 1, maybe 2 runs could win this game tonight, something we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, that is.
Usually we're used to seeing about 6 or 7 runs in 3 innings.
So here's big old Zach Fields from Central Michigan University. And he'll look at ball 1. My pen dropped, Avery, and it just totally exploded into numerous pieces. Hopefully it still works. There's ball 2. I like the gel pen. Are you a gel pen fan? Or do you like just ballpoint?
Ballpoint.
See, I do like the gel pen, but I'm not exactly sure how to put them together. This is one of those where I need someone like your mom. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch in there, is that 2 strikes, Avery?
3 balls, 1 strike.
3 balls and a strike. Zach Fields taking there. And Fields gets into one, whips it down the left field line. That's a fair ball off the wall, but I'm not sure if Zach can get 2. He's going for 2, and a better throw on the base gets him. Zach Fields puts the pressure on the defense, and he finds his way at second base.
Zach Fields, big hit there, something we haven't seen in a while from him. He's struggled at the plate the last few games. It's good to see him rip one down the line and get a stand-up double.
It's the 2 away here in the bottom of the second inning. El Dorado batting against the Liberal BJs after the first 2 were retired, a double from Zach Fields. So here's Morgan Oliver. Oliver with a home run last night in the win at Derby. Oliver on the season batting 200, 23 runs batted in though. It's one of those stats that always kind of baffles me that he's just batting 200, Avery, but leads the team with 23 RBIs. Here's a hit down to shortstop, fielded by Leeser off the back foot, throws it over to first. What a play by Kyle Leeser to retire Morgan Oliver. So for the Broncos, they leave one stranded. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 left. We're done with 2 innings from beautiful McDonald Stadium in El Dorado, Kansas. Our score, El Dorado 0, Liberal 0. Back in a moment here on YouTube. And welcome back to El Dorado. Forgot to, Avery, this game moving along so quickly. I didn't even say the first pitch temperature. We're at 90 degrees. It is going to be a hot, hot weekend before the weather gods change. And we're supposed to be in the upper 70s and low 80s come middle of next week. But for now, a hot Parents' Weekend. We're happy to see so many people in the crowd here at McDonald Stadium, and an excellent start to this game for both clubs. We're tied at 0. Let's send it over to Avery Osen.
Yeah, should be some good weather. The last few years here in Kansas, for those that don't live here, it's been brutally hot. Hundreds almost every day in July, but we're getting some very nice weather this year. First pitch from McGowan in there. Strike 1, 2. Brian Haberstroh. Next pitch to him. Hit to Levi Parker at second. He makes a routine play over to Fields. 1 retired. And now Robert Duggar, the right fielder. Steps into the right-handed batter's box. Liberal in the red uniforms here tonight. First pitch to Duggar is fouled into the back of the stadium. McGowan back on the rubber. Both pitchers working pretty fast tonight. Of course, it helps when you're in a rhythm as these two are. Next pitch fouled down the first base line. 0-2, and McGowan's ahead of another batter. A common theme we're seeing with Jeremy tonight. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch just a bit outside. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch from McGowan is hit down the right field line, and it's going to fall and just fair. Duggar to second. He'll stop there, so a good piece of 2-strike hitting there from Robert Duggar right down the right field line, some opposite field power. And the BJs have something rolling here in the third. And now Zach Redding, the center fielder who struck out looking back in the first inning. First pitch from Jeremy up high, 1-0. Only the second time McGowan is pitching out of the stretch tonight. One-0 pitch from Jeremy McGowan in the right-handed batter's box outside, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes to Zach Redding. The next pitch in there, 2-1 right down the middle. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The delivery. High, 3-1. The BJs come into tonight's game 10-15, 11.5 games behind the Heat in first, and 4 games behind Hayes in that pivotal third spot in the league. The Broncos 8-17. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch outside. McGowan walks Redding. So the Broncos coming in 8-17, 13.5 games behind the Heat, 2 games behind Liberal, and 6 games behind Hayes, who is in third.
And Hayes has a tough weekend series with Wellington, but and we don't know why, but I think it's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series instead of your normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday for whatever reason.
A little check swing from Kyle Leisure, who also struck out looking in the first inning. But what that walk does for Jeremy McGowan now, force out, chance for a double play, which we've seen the Broncos do oh so much this season. No balls and a strike to Leisure. Out low and outside, 1-1. Kyle Leisure, the shortstop for the BJs. The 1-1 pitch. Good pitch from McGowan, 1-2. Brady Cox in the on-deck circle. One ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is fouled out of the stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Both teams 2 hits so far tonight. Still 0-0 here in the top of the third. 1-2 pitch outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes to Jeremy McGowan. The pitch is popped up down the first base line. Zach Fields is under it and makes the play. Big out from Jeremy McGowan. And something we saw that Schnedler did back in the first inning was there was a man on first with a man on third, with just one out. Schnedler worked to strike out and then a fly out to left field there. Jeremy McGowan in on first and second with only one out and a big fly out. No harm done, so now 2 retired. And Brady Cox, the first pitch to him, is hacked at and missed. Cox had a single back in the first. No balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the third. The pitch, low, 1-1.
Avery, that single in the first, really I thought was needed for Liberal because the first 2 batters went down, boom, 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 striking out looking, both of them, and then Cox came up and got a single.
1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch from McGowan outside, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to catcher Brady Cox. Zach Hoffman scheduled to be the next batter. 2-1 pitch is hit out to Sam Lane in center field. Moves to his left, makes the play. So Jeremy McGowan avoids any trouble that was brewing in the top of the third. We head to the bottom of half of this inning. BJ's nothing, Broncos nothing. More play-by-play coming up here from McDonald Stadium.
Once again, Broncos fans, down at the pavilion, there's a quilt donated by us here. It's a king-size quilt. There's tickets available, raffle tickets. There's a game tonight. We will draw tomorrow night on Veterans Night for the quilt. The donation for the tickets is $2 per ticket or 5 tickets for $10. All proceeds raised from this quilt go to cover veteran honor flights for Butler County veterans. Again, it's 1 ticket for $2, 5 tickets for $10. And all proceeds go to cover veteran honor flights for Butler County veterans. It's a good-looking quilt. Go down to the pavilions, check it out, buy some tickets to support this program. And leading up this inning for your El Dorado Broncos, number 2, your second baseman out of Emporia State University, Levi Parker.
Yes. Schnedler takes his final warm-up pitch before the bottom of the third inning. The Broncos, Levi Parker, Sam Lane, and Dylan Muka, 9-1 and 2 batters, will be batting here in the bottom of the third. Still no score, both teams with 2 hits apiece. First pitch from Schnedler. Up high, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Pitch low, 2-0. I'm sure it's hard to pitch to a batter like Levi Parker just because of his size and stature. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch in there, 2-1. Especially after pitching to someone like Zach Fields just 2 batters ago. Fields a lot bigger. Sure, it's an adjustment. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch low, 3-1. So a hitter's count for Levi Parker. He's ahead 3-1. Next pitch from Justin Schnedler is chopped to the second baseman, Levi's counterpart. And Levi almost beat out that throw, but out by barely a step. And now the Broncos will have the top of their order back up. Avery, we've got a breeze. It's a similar breeze that we see here at McDonald Stadium a lot, blowing from right field out towards center and maybe left center field. So anyone who hits one out to right center field or so, if you get it up in that jet stream, it will go. Yeah, some pretty good wind here tonight for what we've seen. Nice little breeze kind of flowing through here through the press box, which is nice.
No balls and a strike to Sam Lane. He watches the next one in the turf, 1-1. One ball and one strike to Sam Lane. He pops one up very high in the infield as third baseman Mike Rampone calls off everybody else at the last moment to make the play. It's always one of those weird things in baseball where the infielders almost always make sure the pitcher doesn't have to catch the ball, any fly ball that's hit, although I'm sure they're just as capable as anybody else. And sometimes with them not catching the ball, it makes for a harder play because the first baseman, third baseman are running in trying to call each other off when the pitcher's right underneath it. And that was kind of the instance there as Rampone kind of slid in at the last moment and made that play.
He did a good job making sure everyone knew he was going to take it, though.
The pitch is hit to the second baseman. The throw, a good one to get out Dylan Muka. Quick inning for Schnedler. We head to the top of the fourth. Still scoreless here at McDonald Stadium. The Broncos and BJs still tied at 0 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. But the BJs showing their 4, 5, and 6 hitters here this half inning. Zach Hoffman, Seth Stevens, and Mike Rampone.
Avery, something that I just caught my attention. Both Liberal base coaches had stopwatches out, and both of them were swinging around their fingers while McGowan was warming up. And then, as the first pitch is in for a strike, they were timing how long it takes when McGowan delivers, when Knight catches and he delivers down to second base. That's something you see at the major league level a lot. How long does it take for the catcher to get it down to second base? And is that something that the BJs can take advantage of? And so, just stealing any chance to gain a little bit of an edge or whatnot, and that's pretty good. I was just kind of surprised, both coaches, as they continue to dangle those stopwatches around their hands.
And I'm sure they do that for every game, but as the 0-2 pitch from McGowan is hit to Morgan Oliver, the shortstop, he makes a sliding play. It didn't exactly fall in the glove as he liked it, so a base hit.
That's a base hit.
For Hoffman. Back to that point. But in a game like this one, 0-0, it's a close game. It might come down to a stolen base or even a Cameron Knight throw down at second. And the margin of error in this game is very slim between these two great pitchers. But something that the BJs have done a good job. They have 3 hits tonight. 2 of those 3 hits have come with 2 strikes on the batter. 1 ball and no strikes to Seth Stevens, the designated hitter for Liberal. The 1-0 pitch, low, good stop from Cameron Knight, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. About the first hitter that McGowan's gotten this far behind. 2-0 pitch is fouled off the back screen. 2-1. McGowan, as Kurt mentioned earlier, has done a great job of getting ahead batters tonight. And that is partially due to his great success tonight.
This could be an action pitch here, Avery. 2-1.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch also fouled off the back screen, evens up the count at 2-2.
Hoffman was staying put on that one, so thought maybe that might be a position maybe to go hit and run or something, because you know McGowan doesn't want to go 3-1. He's been around the plate. But the BJ coaches playing it a little bit on the safe side right now, and we don't know really the speed of Zach Hoffman either at first base.
2-2 pitch to Stevens. Low, 3-2. Stevens flied out to Morgan Oliver in the second of the pitch. Is hit past Oliver, who was scooting over to second. I believe was Hoffman on the move there. And he went over to second to try to cover as that ball was hit right to where Morgan would be standing if there would have been no one on base. That's where he would have been.
And you had a left-handed batter, so I'm going to guess that the Broncos had it arranged defensively that Oliver would cover the base on a steal, and he was going over to cover.
Although, yeah, and he was stealing, but you would have thought maybe not even trying to go over there as the ball is hit up in the air in foul territory on the bunt from Rampone, and it drops foul, 0-1. But Oliver there, he would have been in his normal spot. That would have been probably an easy routine play for Morgan. Instead, first and second, no outs. And Mike Rampone, who just showed he's trying to put down a bunt here and advance the runners. And in a game like this one, could be a 1 or 2 run victory.
You know, I thought Stevens might square around and bunt, but they let him hit. Now they've got 2 on, and now they're going to try to bunt him over to second and third here again.
Showing bunt down the third base line. Play from Hogan over to first as Levi Parker covers on the sacrifice. But Rampone does his job, and both runners move up 90 feet.
Hogan had the best look there. It was one of those plays where maybe you could let it go and gamble, but, you know, take the out. You're early on, and McGowan's been mowing him down pretty good, and here's a definite strikeout situation for Jeremy.
Alec Isaac, the batter who struck out in the second. McGowan in need of a strikeout here. The first pitch to Isaac, inside, 0-1.
Avery already 4 strikeouts tonight for Jeremy McGowan, although those 4 came in the first 2 innings. He has not had a strikeout in the last 2 innings. Or the last inning and a third, I guess, officially.
No balls and 1 strike to left fielder Alec Isaac. 0-1 pitch is hit up in the air, out of play, 0-2. So McGowan 1 pitch away from getting a pivotal out here in the top of the 4th inning. McGowan taking a little bit more time here in between pitches. Making sure he gets the right sign. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch hit to Hogan at third as he's going to run down the base runner. And 2 guys are on third, so a definite out there. And so now, a good play there from Hogan and 2 outs. And runners on second and third. Hogan, the best thing he did with that play was he didn't even throw it to home at first. Once he got that ball, he stared down the runner and started running at him. Instead of maybe throwing that ball and maybe Knight drops it or gets past him, Hogan just held on to that one, and a good play there from Max. And now McGowan just 1 out away from getting out of a a little jam here in the top of the fourth.
Give Hoffman a little credit as well. He stayed alive long enough to allow Isaac to go all the way to second, so they still have second and third, but 2 outs now.
First pitch is in there, 0-1. Brian Haberstroh, the batter. He's a second baseman who grounded out to second baseman Levi Parker in the third. He's 0 for 1 tonight. No balls and a strike from Jeremy McGowan. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. The pitch, high and outside, 1-1.
A little tough right now on the right side this time of night, Avery, for Levi Parker, Zach Fields, Michael Muka, second, first, and right field. The sun setting kind of right in their eyes right now.
1 ball, 1 strike, pitch, a curveball, 1-2.
With a speed difference from the last pitch, the 2 pitches ago to that pitch, really probably about 15 miles an hour difference or so, 10 miles an hour. He really took a lot off there, and it caught Haberstroh by surprise.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from McGowan is missed by Haberstroh, and McGowan gets out of runners on second and third with only 1 out. Unscathed are the Broncos here in the top of the fourth. We head to the bottom half. BJ's nothing, Broncos nothing. More El Dorado Bronco baseball coming up here on YouTube.
And how much they're looking for to come back next year. So get your money on 3 tickets for $1, 10 for $2. If your tickets are on here tonight, you'll get half of the total amount raised, which you're welcome to keep or donate right back to the Broncos. We use this money. This is an opportunity to raise money for your El Dorado Broncos baseball program. So it's 3 tickets for $1, 10 for $2. All of these guys get a bunch of money out of them. Go over there, happy to take your money, give you lots of tickets. They can give you $20 worth or $50 worth or $100 worth. So no bill is too big for them to take to give you tickets. So they need 3 tickets for $1, 10 for $2. Now at the bleacher designated hitter, number 5, Clayton Dalrymple.
Clayton Dalrymple, the first batter in this inning for the Broncos. Clayton Dalrymple, Michael Muka, and Cameron Knight, the 3 guaranteed batters here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Still scoreless here at McDonald Stadium. Kurt, something we haven't seen in a while.
How many times we saw the Broncos fall behind in that 4-game homestand? Really, the only time they led, I mentioned several times, was when they finally took the lead in the bottom of the 16th against Derby on Sunday night. Other than that, they never led in those 4 games. But they led the whole way last night, and here they are, even with Liberal.
Umpire calls time. One ball and no strikes here to designated hitter Clayton Dalrymple. Interested to see if we'll see Clayton back in the field any this summer. And now Brady Cox is going to go out and talk to Schnebler.
Dalrymple suffered that hand injury about 7 or 8 games into the season. He was trying to bunt, and the ball pinched his finger and the bat together there. He was out about a month, made his return, I think it was Monday night, and he's only been DHing so far and DHing here tonight. But yeah, he said he couldn't really grip a ball yet, but that was Monday night, so I would imagine another week or so when you might see Clayton out in the field.
1 ball and 1 strike to Dalrymple. Next pitch, low in the turf, 2-1. Michael Muka on deck. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch, good curveball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Dalrymple, although he doesn't have nearly at bats that so many others do, still leading the team average-wise with 533 average coming in tonight.
2-2 pitch. Just barely misses. Full count.
This Schnedler from the University of Texas at Arlington, I believe, UTA.
Wonder if he ever has gone against Sam Lane, who is from the University of Texas, Tyler. As Dalrymple fouls a ball, and it caught Brady Cox.
And you see the umpire there. You see this so many times in baseball now. The umpire will give the catcher a little bit of time to gather himself. That looked like a harmless tick, but, you know, that ball's coming, and it just alters direction just a bit, and well, those catchers take balls off. Even though they got a lot of padding there, it always seems like those foul tips find them right where the padding isn't, whether it be in the thigh or the wrist or somewhere.
Full count again to Dalrymple. The payoff pitch is hit softly down the third base line and foul. So stays at 3-2 to Dalrymple. Four hits so far for the BJs, denied only 2 for the Broncos. 3-2 pitch is missed by Dalrymple. A good pitch there from Schnedler. And now Michael Muka, who has really came on strong, I'd say, Kurt, the last week or two. Some pretty key at-bats from him. Him and his brother Dylan really been showing their batting abilities. First pitch is hit. Looked like off his foot, is that right?
Yes. The umpire immediately calling foul, even though it stayed in fair territory. If it ricochets off your foot, it's a foul ball. And the umpire will give Michael a few moments here to recover.
That's one of those things that I think is, I don't know if you can say it's an underrated injury, but a ball off the foot, oh, that has got to be painful.
It's amazing how these guys are able to shrug that off and just get back in there.
Well, and even like off the shins, you know, I was a soccer player, and whenever you get kicked on the shin, that hurts enough, but if a ball coming in that fast hits that part of your leg, that's cringeworthy.
Brings a few tears to the eyes.
1 ball and 1 strike to Michael Muka. 1-1 pitch is missed, and actually it's going to be partially fouled. 1-2.
Broncos and BJs all weekend here, Avery, on Parents Weekend. Then the final 3 home games for El Dorado.
Schnedler ahead here, 1-2. The pitch is hit out to right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit from Michael Muka. Good 2-strike hitting. And now Cameron Knight, who grounded out to Leisure in his first time at bat.
And Chad Gerwick, he also has a stopwatch now that I look down there, and they're seeing how long it takes Schnedler to deliver a pitch from the mound home. He's checking his watch each pitch here. Now deciding, is there an opportunity for Michael to run?
No balls and a strike. Next pitch is low, and Brady Cox loses it, and that'll advance Muka to second. So that takes out any double play opportunities, and it puts Michael Muka in scoring position.
Great read there from Michael. No hesitation when that ball just skipped away. It didn't skip away by much, but enough that if you get a good jump, nothing Cox could do with it.
So we'll see if Knight, or maybe even Max Hogan, can come up with a big hit. 1-1 pitch, foul. 1-2.
Want to remind folks who may be watching us for the very first time, glad to have you tuned in, and all these games are archived. So if there's anything you missed, or if maybe there's some other parents that aren't getting, maybe aren't aware of our broadcast here, they can go back and watch all the action. The game archives not too long after we go off the air at night.
1-2 pitch is hit to right field, and it stays up. Looked like a ball that maybe was going to find the gap, but just stayed up too long. It didn't really, as Kurt was saying earlier, didn't really get in that wind. Could have maybe taken it a little bit farther into, a little more into right center field instead of just right field. Instead, 2 outs. And Max Hogan, the third baseman, flied out to left field. Earlier in the game, first pitch to him is upstairs 1-0.
Knight really connected well on that one, and yeah, he hit it on such a line and positioned really good out there was Robert Duggar, and made what looked like might be a difficult play rather easy.
1-0 pitch from Schnedler. In there, 1-1. Zach Fields would be the next batter. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-1 pitch, low, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike as Cameron Knight is ahead. Max Hogan, the left-handed batter. 2-1 pitch. A good curveball, 2-2.
Almost seems like the batters almost have to look curveball first. Generally, you look fastball and try to fight off the curve, but Schnedler really throws a sharp breaker in there, and boy, you just got to really be ready for that. He's buckled the knees of several Broncos already tonight.
So the count is even at 2-2. Next pitch, high and outside, 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Michael Muka on second as the Broncos try to break this tie. The infielders positioning him to, well, they're about pretty even, as the second baseman is holding on Michael Muka at second instead of the shortstop. Three balls and 2 strikes from Schnedler. Pitch is missed, and a bat goes flying into the stands. That will wake you up if you weren't already. As one of the BJ's fans takes the bat and brings it down to the field, as that ball really caught Max Hogan, obviously, off guard as he lost his bat. Kurt, have you ever seen a bat thrown into the stands like that before?
Not here. There's not a lot of room to do that. But he did it.
So we head to the top of the 5th. BJ 0, Broncos 0. More Bronco baseball coming up here on YouTube.
Also gives you a chance to win some money again tonight. That you're welcome to keep or donate back to the program. It's 3 tickets for $1, 10 for $2. The 50-50 drawing will be the agent. Leading up this inning for the football BJ's, number 8, Robert Duggar.
So Robert Duggar will be the first batter as the BJ show their 9-1-2 hitters here in the top of the 5th inning. And now we'll hand it over to Kurt for this innings call.
Thank you, Avery. 9-1-2 scheduled for the BJs here in the top half of the fifth inning. No score. 0-4-1 for Liberal, 0-3-0 for El Dorado. And the first pitch hit by Duggar out to Morgan Oliver. Gloves it over to Fields, and that is offline. That will be an error on Morgan Oliver. And that is not what the Broncos were hoping for to start this fifth inning. So Zach Redding will come up. Redding 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. He struck out looking in the first on 3 straight strikes from McGowan. Then he walked in the third. Redding, a left-handed swinger, center fielder. McGowan delivering. Redding looking to bunt, and he fouls that one out of the stadium. Coach is asking Redding to sacrifice here. He looked like he was looking to drag a bunt for a single. Redding, a sophomore from Grayson College, Dallas, Texas. No balls and a strike to Redding. And the pitch, he looks to bunt again, and again pops it up right back into here, into the stands. It got over the netting, but under the overhang, and nearly caught a young man by surprise. He was eating his sunflower seeds, and that ball came right between his feet almost. So no balls and 2 strikes. Redding will have to, can't imagine they'd put the bunt on again here with 2 strikes. Duggar down at first base, reaching on an error. Not a very big lead, and the pitch by McGowan is outside, ball 1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Leeser waits on deck. Great to have you tuned in tonight here on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying our video and audio stream online, totally free. Hope you're enjoying it. We're glad to bring it to you. We broadcast all the home El Dorado Bronco baseball games. And the hit down to Fields. He'll touch the base, fire down to second. The tag got him. What a double play. Zach Fields with a strike to Morgan Oliver, the 2 Central Michigan teammates, and they cut down Duggar. So a 3-U-6 double play. Fields took the out at first, and then threw down to Oliver, who had to tag Duggar, but Fields really put it on really the only place it could be to get Duggar out. So an excellent play by Zach Fields. 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Kyle Leeser up. Leisure looks at ball 2. Leisure struck out in the first, popped out to Zach Fields over at first base in the 3rd inning. At the plate for the 3rd time tonight, fouls one off. That hit more up the leg. We were talking about was it Michael Muka earlier who fouled it off his foot? He's reaching down right at the ankle, and that may be even more painful than off the foot. So he's going to try to walk that off. Kyle Leeser, sophomore. He goes to school at St. Cloud State University. That's up in northern Minnesota. Leeser trying to walk it off. Looks like he's going to stay in the game, albeit a bit uncomfortable. So now he's back in the box. 2 balls and a strike. 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. And McGowan pitches a curveball in there. It stays upstairs. Ball 3. Brady Cox, the catcher, swinging on deck with half of his catcher's gear on. And McGowan's ball 3, 1 strike pitch is high. And a walk for Leisure. Leisure? Down to first. And here's Brady Cox, singled in the 1st inning and a fly out to Sam Lane in the 3rd. Both teams have had some scoring opportunities. The BJs probably had the best one when Hoffman and Stevens both reached in the fourth inning. Rampone sacrificed them to second and third, but then Alec Isaac grounded to Max Hogan, who threw home, and they were able to get Hoffman out, and then Haberstroh struck out. First pitch, a strike to Cox. The best scoring opportunity for the Broncos tonight, probably in the first inning. Muka, with one away, singled and reached third on a throwing error. But then Dalrymple struck out and Michael Muka flew out. No balls and a strike. McGowan delivers home, and that looks like another one. It is. Another fastball in there for strike two. Brady Cox wasn't totally sold on that. Asked the umpire exactly where that went across the plate. So no balls and two strikes. And the pitch high, ball one. So a ball and two strikes. Two away, we're in the top of the fifth inning. Shadows starting to overwhelm Brad Longfield, although really all of center field, all of right field still in the sun. In fact, even left fielder Dylan Muka in the sun for the Broncos. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's hit out to shortstop. Morgan Oliver will wait for it, flip it over to Levi Parker to retire the side. No runs, no hits. There was an error and one left. We're halfway through. Liberals 0, El Dorado 0. Back in a moment. You're watching and listening to Bronco Baseball on YouTube.
Thank you, Coach. You did beat Atlanta. 3 tickets for $1.10 for $2. Help support the Broncos baseball program. 3 tickets for $1.10 for $2.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So we head to the home half of the fifth inning. Broncos and BJs scoreless. These teams played a 3-game series in Liberal earlier this season. El Dorado won 2 out of 3. There was one game where El Dorado came from a big deficit down and won 14-13. I don't think we were looking at a 14-13 game here tonight. Zach Fields will lead it off against Schnedler. Justin Schnedler throws ball one. El Dorado Bronco Baseball is a 501 through our 503c organization. Donations are tax deductible, and our good buddy Dale Short says he would match any donations to cover expenses up to $250 tonight. So if you'd like to make a donation, if you've enjoyed the broadcasts, let us know, or we'll get you in touch with Vicki Bell or whatever it takes. A $250 matching opportunity tonight. The 2-1 pitch spiked into the turf. 3 balls and 1 strike to Zach Fields. Zach on the year hitting .259. He's gone deep 6 times this year. He's got 17 RBI. He has scored 11 times. And the 3-1 pitch, he missed it. He'd like to have that one back. He fouled it out into the parking lot. So a full count to Zach Fields, the leadoff batter in the bottom of the 5th inning. Morgan Oliver and Levi Parker will also come to the plate this inning. If anyone can get on, Sam Lane Justin Schnedler with the 3-2 pitch, curveball, and Fields taps it foul down to third base. So we'll do it again. Tomorrow night, a special night here at the yard honoring the veterans. All veterans are invited to come on out to be recognized. Mike Pompeo will be here tomorrow night. Here's the 3-2, and Fields fouls it off. So it should be a really nice ceremony tomorrow night before the 7 o'clock first pitch between Liberal and El Dorado. The teams will wrap up the series Sunday night at 7 o'clock. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch to Fields, and he gets under it. Whips it out to left center field, and that ball is gone. Zach Fields to left center field for his 7th home run of the season.
It's the first baseman, number 39 from Central Michigan, Zach Fields.
A good battle at the plate there between Fields and Schnedler. And finally, Fields wins the battle as he took it out over the 375 sign here at McDonald Stadium. So a 1-0 lead. The Broncos take the lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's Morgan Oliver, the shortstop. And Oliver will foul off the first offering. Morgan grounded out to shortstop in the 2nd inning. So 0-4-1 for Liberal, now 1-4-1 for El Dorado. And the pitch to Oliver, curveball, catches the outside corner, strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Morgan Oliver out of Central Michigan University. And the fastball well away for ball 1. So a ball and 2 strikes. None away here in the bottom of the 5th, and the 1-2. Oliver hits it straight up, and it's going to land maybe in play. Nope, right on top of us here. On top of the stadium, so Morgan will live to see another pitch. The Broncos have a doubleheader on Wednesday at Wellington. Next weekend, a 3-game series at Dodge City against the A's. And the pitch. And at the last moment, Morgan taps it. It goes to Schnedler at the mound, and he'll throw it over to first base for the first out. So Levi Parker now coming up. The El Dorado native plays at Emporia State University. Levi grounded out to second in the 3rd inning. First offering from Schnedler is low, ball 1. Levi comes into this game hitting .232 on the season. And he'll look at a curveball, too low, ball 2. So a 2-0 start here to this at bat for Levi Parker. And now we'll see if Schnedler comes with a fastball. Will he go off speed again here? 2 balls and a strike, fastball, and that may have caught part of the umpire. He shrugs it off, and it's 3-0. Sam Lane is next for the Broncos as they'll turn the order over. Brady Cox back out to visit with Justin Schnedler. Zach Fields led off this inning with a towering home run out to left center field. Great crowd here tonight at McDonald Stadium. And here comes the 3-0 pitch. And that is too low, ball 4. So Levi Parker is aboard. Here comes Sam Lane. Lane is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out to short, and he popped out to Mike Rampone at third base. And now the shortstop, Kyle Leisure, has a word with Justin Schnedler. And a big hole between first and second as the second baseman, Haberstroh, plays way over towards the second base bag. And Sam Lane had an outside pitch, was looking that way, fouled it off. The outfielders play Sam pretty much straight away. Lane out of the University of Texas at Tyler. And a check on Levi Parker. Sam Lane, 6'1", 165. He calls Plano, Texas home. The 0-1 pitch to Lane. And nope, we'll wait for another check on Levi Parker. And looks like Liberal's now going to get some action in their bullpen. Schnedler's been really good, but he has seemed to be taxed a little bit here in the last couple of innings, and he'll step off. A lot of concern for Levi. Parker does not have a big lead over at first base, and he's not been this year the top stealing threat for El Dorado. He has 6 stolen bases on the season. Back over to first, and now Brady Cox back out to the mound again. No balls and 1 strike is the count here on Sam Lane. Some fresh baseballs for the umpire, and now Sam Lane will step in. Parker now edges off a little further, and the pitch, it's a pitch out. So a lot of concern about Levi Parker, who walked just a moment ago. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Lane, a long look down at manager Chad Gerwick. Schnedler has his sign. Parker is going. Curveball is a strike. Parker has a steal. Levi Parker showing some good wheels, his 7th stolen base of the season. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner in scoring position, Levi Parker. 1-0 El Dorado. Schnedler again stepping off, and again Brady Cox runs out to the mound. That's about the 4th visit during this at-bat. Brady Cox is wearing a path between the home plate and the pitcher's mound. Schnedler's got his sign. And the pitch. And Lane hits it down to third base, fielded by Rampone. He'll fire it over to first to retire Sam Lane. So here comes Dylan Muka. Muka, 1 for 2 tonight, a single and a ground out. Clayton Dalrymple waits on deck for the Broncos. Boy, a lot of room between left field and shortstop. The left fielder, Alec Isaac, giving a lot of respect to Muka. Now he'll come in a few steps. And the pitch from Schnedler is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 1-0 El Dorado. Muka from Southern Illinois University. And the pitch from Schnedler, hit up the middle. Leisure fields it, fires over to first, and they get Dylan Muka by a step. But Zach Fields with a leadoff home run in this inning has given us our first run of the game. We're through 5. El Dorado 1. Liberal 0. Back in a moment. You're listening and watching to Bronco Baseball here on YouTube.
Broncos 1. leading off this inning for the Liberal BJs, number 32.
We do hope you're enjoying our broadcast tonight here on YouTube. And again, those of you new to our broadcast, the video will get even better as the sun goes down and the lights kind of show. The shadows sometimes mess with the lighting on our webcam, but not much we can do about that. We head to the 6th inning as Zach Fields' home run has given the Broncos a 1-0 lead, and we'll send it back to Avery Olsen.
Zach Hoffman will lead off the inning. Second time he's led off the 4th inning. First pitch from McGowan is in there for a strike. Hoffman is 1 for 2 tonight. Next pitch. Strike 0-2. We invite anyone to comment. We don't care if you're a Liberal fan or not, or El Dorado. Comment on this video. Let us know where you're listening from and who you're listening for. Ball hit up the middle. Morgan Oliver will be a tough play. It hits off his glove. And a single for Hoffman. Love getting the comments and seeing where people are listening and watching from tonight. So now Seth Stevens, who is also 1 for 2 tonight. Left-handed swinger against right-handed pitcher Jeremy McGowan. Pitch from McGowan in there, 0-1. We'll see if Hoffman will run here. The first base is just a little bit covered in some sun. And so Hoffman, when he's getting his leads, holding his hand up, trying to make sure the sun's not in his eyes. No balls and 1 strike. So Stevens, the pitch is missed. 0-2. One thing McGowan has done very well tonight is get out of some situations that could have scored some runs. Liberal not able to take advantage. No balls and 2 strikes. Pitch outside. A good waste pitch, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to designated hitter Seth Stevens. Mike Rampone, the next batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch also in the right-handed batter's box outside, 2-2. The Broncos leading 1-0 with just 1 less hit than the BJs. BJs have 5, the Broncos at 4. Both teams committing 1 error. 2-2 pitch as Stevens swings and misses, and a strikeout.
I don't know what Jeremy threw there. Avery looked something a little off speed, though, because Stevens was really out in front there.
A good pitch from him, and now third baseman Mike Rampone, who has been busy at the short corner tonight. First pitch to him. Low and outside, 1-0. We don't know a whole lot about Liberal, but I'm guessing Hoffman probably doesn't have much speed over at first, just due to the fact that they're not trying to bunt him over or even try to steal him.
And he really doesn't get that big of a lead. He's just barely to the cutout. Now that's as big of a lead as he's had all night.
So the 1-0 pitch from McGowan is swung on and missed. 1-1. Jeremy McGowan pitching very well tonight.
Derby Twins, Avery, on top of Dodge City, 1-0 in the 3rd inning.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch fouled. 1-2. That definitely not as big of a series as the Hayes and Wellington series, but if you look at it, Derby's only half a game ahead of Hayes. So if somehow Hayes can sneak into the 2 spot, then you're looking to try to catch Derby in that 3rd spot in the league. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch fouled. 1-2. To Mike Rampone, Alec Isaac will be the next batter. if he gets the opportunity. Rampone 0 for 2 tonight. Or 0 for 1, excuse me, with the sacrifice bunt. 1-2 pitch from McGowan is hit out to center field. Sam Lane played perfectly. Barely had to even move to catch that ball, and now here comes left fielder Alec Isaac, who is 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a fielder's choice in the 4th. Right-handed batter is Isaac. First pitch from Jeremy McGowan. It's a good one. 0-1 as Isaac thought that maybe was going to hit him as he backed up in the batter's box, but it curved right in for a strike. McGowan ahead. Zach Hoffman on first. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch is fouled. And now 0-2. Zach Fields providing the only run tonight off the solo home run to left center field. No balls and 2 strikes to Isaac. The pitch is hit a mile high. Morgan Oliver under it. He makes the play. Jeremy McGowan, 6 scoreless innings thus far, and the Broncos lead at 1-0. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. More El Dorado Bronco baseball coming up.
The pavilion that was donated by a Sarah. It's an inside world honoring our veterans. There's tickets available tonight, $2 a piece. One ticket for $2, 5 tickets for $10. These are donations that go to cover veterans honor flights for Butler County veterans. So if you get an opportunity, stop by down there, check the quilt out. It's donated by a Sarah. The Sarah are game sponsors tomorrow night as well for Veterans Night. Go down and check out the quilt. We'll draw for the quilt tomorrow night. 1 ticket for $2, 5 tickets for $10. And all proceeds go to cover the veteran honor flights for Butler County veterans. Yes. And another reminder, tomorrow night is Veterans Night right here at the Donald Stadium. So all veterans are asked to attend the game and be recognized for your service. Please join us right here in the ballpark to watch some great baseball against the Liberal BJs and help us honor our veterans by saying thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedoms.
Broncos lead 1-0. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Clayton Dalrymple, Michael Muka, and Cameron Knight will be the batters here in this half inning for the Broncos. Hopefully the video is looking better and better each minute. Once that sun goes all the way down and the lights are on here at McDonald Stadium, video looks pretty good actually. But right now it's in a tough spot with those shadows and the sun coming in on parts of the field. 1-0 pitch as Dalrymple squares and bunts to third base. And Dalrymple is safe without a throw. Mike Rampone decided just to hold on to that throw as he had an error earlier. And he threw it past the first baseman, and it went very far, and far enough that the base runner, Dylan Muka, was able to get to third. So he just holds on to the ball this time and allows Clayton Dalrymple on first with that single. And now Michael Muka. Michael Muka 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch to him is hit down the third base line. It's still going, and it is out of play right beside the Broncos bullpen. 0-1. Michael flied out to left field in the first inning and then had a single in the fourth. Again, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. El Dorado leads Liberal 1-0. Schnedler throws one over to first as Dalrymple takes second, and the ball was in the turf, which really helped Dalrymple there, but he probably had the stolen base anyways. A good jump from him, and the Broncos have a man in scoring position with no outs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Michael Muka. Cameron Knight on deck. The 1-1 pitch. Muka squares around and bunts on the first base line. The pitcher never touches Michael, so he runs to first. As he was almost safe there, Michael stopped down the first base line. And I don't know, the pitcher never touched him, so I don't know why he didn't continue on. He was right beside him. He stared down the runner at third and then figured out he didn't touch Michael, who started running to first but was thrown out. So an unusual play there, but still the put out, and the Broncos advanced Dalrymple to third. And Cameron Knight, the catcher, now batting for the Broncos. Pitch in there, 0-1, as the BJ's infield is now in for any play at home. No balls and 1 strike to Cameron Knight. The Broncos look to take a 2-run advantage. 0-1 pitch in the turf, 1-1. A good stop there from Brady Cox. If that ball gets past him, Dalrymple most likely scores. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Cameron Knight. The 1-1 pitch gets past Cox. Dalrymple jogs home, and the Broncos take a 2-0 lead on that wild pitch. Cameron Knight also now ahead in this at bat, 2-1. So they call that last pitch a strike, so it is 1-2. Didn't look like a strike from up here, but the ball got past Cox. 1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. Max Hogan on deck. Count is even at 2-2. Pitch hit to second. Nice stop there from Haberstroh. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
The University of Arkansas, your third baseman, number 16, Max Hogan.
And now third baseman Max Hogan, who is 0 for 2 tonight, a fly out to left and a strikeout. As he swings at one that he probably wishes he could have back because didn't really get a good swing. No balls and 1 strike to Max. The next pitch, high, 1-1. As Kurt said earlier, pretty good gathering of Broncos fans and a fair gathering of liberal BJ's fans as the next pitch is waved on and missed, 1-2. Parents' weekend here, a big veterans ceremony tomorrow before the game. So lots going on at McDonald Stadium. 1-2 pitch hits Max Hogan. He'll take his base as he was down in the count. And now Zach Fields, who made this game that was scoreless for so long, the Broncos, as he hit a home run, the Broncos took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. He hit one past the 375 fence in left center field. As now Max Hogan is on first. He takes second. The pitch is high, so made for a good throw from Cox, but got past the second baseman, so Max Hogan is in with a stolen base. It wasn't a pitch out, but it made for a good one as the ball was thrown up high, so it made Cox have a good starting point at his throw. Really had a good chance to get Max, but they couldn't, so Hogan is in scoring position at second with 2 outs, and Zach Fields the batter. 1-0 pitch from Schnedler. And they're 1-1. Both teams have 5 hits tonight. The Broncos 2 runs to show for those 5 hits, though. Next pitch gets the outside corner call. 1-2. Fields doesn't like the call. He'll have to battle back down to 1-2 now. So the 1-2 pitch from Schnedler. Very high is a good stop from Cox as Schnedler really just unleashed a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maybe a frustration throw from him. 2-2 pitch. Low and outside, 3-2. As some of the infielders thought that was going to be a called strike 3 as they started making their way to their dugout. Not so fast, though. We have a full count at 3-2. The payoff pitch is hit up high, left center field. It's going, and it's gone. Zach Fields, his second home run of the night, and this one in 2-run fashion. And the Broncos take a 4-0 lead off a Zach Fields 2-run blast. Almost identical, except this one farther and deeper than that one in the 5th inning. So Zach Fields 3 for 3 tonight, 2 home runs and a double, as that might be the night for Schnedler. We'll see, and it is. So Justin Schnedler doesn't really go off how he'd like to, as the Broncos put up a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll get the pitcher that is now coming in for the BJs. The Broncos get a big 2-run home run from Zach Fields. We'll bring you the rest of this inning coming up here. You're listening to El Dorado Broncos Baseball on YouTube.
Now pitching for the Liberal BJs, number 4, Zach Thompson.
The El Dorado Broncos take a 4-0 lead as Justin Schnedler, the starting pitcher for the BJs, is taken out. He really pitched well tonight, just had 2 pitches that Zach Fields got a hold of, as Fields had 3 of the 6 hits against Schnedler tonight.
Avery, 5 2/3 for Schnedler, gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, had 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he hit a batter. And he really cruised through the first 4 innings. It's been the 5th and the 6th inning that really haunted Schnedler, but he was really good the first 4.
As Morgan Oliver, a line drive, base hit up the middle. And now Levi Parker will come up to bat.
We mentioned Gina Short, her birthday. She's a foster parent of Zach Fields and Morgan Oliver, and Morgan homered last night, now a single there. Zach Fields 2 homers today on her birthday, so a little trying to treat the house mother well.
First pitch to Parker in there, strike 1. She's really liking it up here in the press box. No balls and 1 strike to second baseman Levi Parker, who is 0 for 1 tonight. Next pitch, stopped by Cox, 1-1, but that's one of those stats that you see. I'd like to see what it is on Schnedler. First, even second time around, the batting average of his opponents. And then once you get to the third time around, and sometimes even into the fourth time, generally you see those batting averages go up because you're more used to the pitcher by that time in the game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Broncos took full advantage of that, except Zach Fields. He didn't even need an at-bat as he's 3 for 3 tonight. Levi Parker chops one to third as Parker beats out the throw to first. It was a soft chopper, and Rampone had to sprint up to make the play, but with Levi Parker's speed, can't get him, so the Broncos first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Then Sam Lane.
Sam's the 8th batter of the inning, Avery.
So after 4 innings, that Schnedler, as Kurt said, just cruised through. The Broncos now getting to the pitching of the BJs. Pitch is missed by Sam Lane. He swings at most likely what was a ball. So no balls and 1 strike to Sam Lane. Lane 0 for 3 tonight. A 1 pitch is in the turf, 1-1. Count is even at 1-1. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Pitch is hit to the shortstop who was on a rope. But the Broncos do damage here in the bottom of the 6th inning, putting up 3 runs. And we'll see Jeremy McGowan most likely back out for the top of the 7th. Broncos lead 4-0. We head to the 7th inning. More Bronco baseball coming up here on YouTube.
The handwriting here is like a 3rd grader. One of the Broncos players wrote this. They wrote black in quotation, so maybe it's too dirty to tell. It says black Dodge Neon. The black Dodge Neon with license plate 063, F is in Frank, D is in David, D is in David. 063 FED. Black Dodge Neon. I bet your car, come up to the front window of the announcer booth, and I will give you a token from Blackburn Construction to use in one of their 3 car washes here in town to go get that mess cleaned up. Again, it's Black Dodge Neon 063 FDE. That's yours. Come on up and claim it. It looks like we've got a winner here. What's your name, sir? Car belongs to Deacon. He's going to take
McGowan to Brian Harbistro, the second baseman. Pitch missed. And McGowan strikes out Harbistro for the first out. And now Robert Duggar.
Avery, I want to remind folks that the Broncos are a 501c3 organization. Donations are tax deductible, and Dale Short tonight says he will match any donation up to $250. So feel free to contact us on the comments line there or get a hold of Vicky Bell. And
as a ball is hit to Max Hogan, and it goes under his glove. Duggar races to second, and he's in there. So a play that Max Hogan, if you asked him, probably said he should make. And an error.
Hit. Give him a hit.
Okay.
Tough play, but yeah, like you said, one that we've seen Max make numerous times this year.
Kurt, I don't know if you can look this up. Jeremy McGowan, earlier this season, threw a complete game shutout. I'm not finding it in my book. Didn't know if you had a date and team against that.
See what I can find.
First pitch to Zach Redding, outside 1-0. So a runner on second with one out. Broncos lead 4-0 here in the top of the seventh inning. One-0 pitch from Jeremy McGowan is hit foul off the back screen. Evens the count at 1-1.
Avery, it was the game against Dodge City on the first game of that three-game series, and McGowan went the distance. It was a game that El Dorado won 5-0. They scored 1 run in the sixth, 4 in the eighth to win that one 5-0.
1-1 pitch in the turf, 2-1. So we know McGowan definitely has the potential to go 9 innings if the pitch count is right, and there's no matchups and stuff that come up later in the game.
Which is a stat we did keep track of early on, but we kind of quit tracking pitches. It was kind of hard.
2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch. Doesn't get the outside call, 3-1.
And, you know, part of it, too, is sometimes it didn't really matter if they were maxed out. Coach Gerwick has his own system of when guys were going to be in and out. So counting pitches kind of became really an insignificant stat.
So a 3-run pitch to Zach Redding. Pitch is hit up the middle to Sam Lane. Sam Lane has it, and he'll fire one to Zach Field, who's standing on the pitcher's mound, and they will hold Duggar at third. So still the potential for a double play with Zach Redding on first. And now Kyle Leisure.
Chad Gerwick's going to go out to the mound, Avery. And Joe Kennedy has been warming up down in the pen for the Broncos. That may be it for McGowan. We'll see. He's pitched to beauty. I thought a good decision there from the BJ coach. You know, you're down 4-0. No reason to take a chance at home. First 2 guys are on in the inning. You have a chance for a good inning here. Don't want to risk anything on the base pads down 4.
And the 2-hitter Kyle Leisure, and then the 3-hole hitter. So a good part of their lineup coming up for the BJs. We'll see if the Broncos can get out of this one.
They're going to stick with McGowan too, Avery.
Righty on righty matchup. McGowan versus Leisure, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He's already struck out looking once to McGowan. Pitch in there, 0-1. We'll see if you'd think Zach Redding, the leadoff hitter, would have decent speed over on first. So we'll see if they try to steal him to avoid the double play.
Not a very big lead.
No balls and 1 strike. The pitch. As Leisure squared around a bunt, but it was outside, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on the corners for the BJs. 1-1 pitch to Leisure as Redding takes second. It's a good throw, and they get him. A great throw from Cameron Knight.
That couldn't have been more on target, Avery. It was right there. And a big put out from the Bronco defense.
I'd say that's huge. Now 2 outs with a runner on third, and 2-1 to Kyle Leisure. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch is hit out to center field to Sam Lane. He's under it, and the Broncos do a great job as Jeremy McGowan puts a fist up in excitement as they work out of runners on first and third with 1 out. It's stretch time here at McDonald Stadium. Broncos 4, BJ's nothing, as El Dorado coming up to bats. We'll be back with more El Dorado Bronco baseball coming up.
Oh. He was throwing right-handed to the second two. Huh. They said he was sitting straight to the right. Well, true.
So a good job there from the El Dorado Broncos defense. Cameron Knight throwing a strike to second to throw out Zach Redding. And then Sam Lane making a routine play out at center. And now the Broncos will try to add to their already 4-0 lead with Dylan Muka, Clayton Dalrymple, and Michael Muka.
Avery figured that fly ball to center would have scored Duggar at third with 1 out, but with 2 outs, it turns into an inning-ending fly out, and the 0 remains on the board for the BJs.
Zach Thompson. I don't think I ever said that he was the new pitcher for Schnedler, but Thompson out there, a left-hander. So no balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Muka. The next pitch, outside 1-2.
Can't really blame the BJ coaches there either, Avery, because you figure so many teams with first and third, they don't want that runner from third to score, so a lot of times they're not even going to throw it down. You figure it's a safe way to maybe get guys at second and third, and it just went against the BJs tonight.
Next pitch in the turf.
Oh,
2-2.
that found Brady Cox. Hit just below his chest protector. Again, how many times? They're covered up almost from head to toe, but there are some areas there that are exposed, and it just seems like so many times those catchers, that's where the ball finds them.
Kyle Leisure talking to Zach Thompson, giving Cox a few more moments. Try to catch his breath. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Muka. Dalrymple on deck. The 2-2 pitch in the turf again, 3-2. So generally you see maybe a ball in the turf at 0-2, maybe even 1-2. But Thompson really working that outside corner and not really even tempting Muka. Full count pitch is fouled and out of play. Keeps it at 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, pitch, fouled off. Remains 3-2. Dylan Muka, 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single in the first, which he ended up getting the third on off of an error as Thompson, after being up 0-2, a good at-bat, from Muka as he draws a walk.
And I think each of those last 3 or 4 pitches, except for the foul ball, well, except for the ones that were fouled out of play, I think got a piece of Brady Cox as he kept throwing his body out in front of him. Again, thankless work those catchers do, both on both teams, and Brady Cox did a great job there blocking what was ball 4.
So Dylan Muka on first for Clayton Dalrymple, who has been struck out twice tonight. Also has a single, a stolen base, and a run scored.
And considering his hand injury, I don't think Coach Gerwick will have him bunting here.
First pitch, and he shows bunt. As the ball is low, 1-0.
He wasn't quite committed to that bunt, though. Trying to exercise some demons, I think, there after when he squared around earlier this year and took one right off the hand.
Next pitch is missed by Dalrymple, 1-1. So count is even, 1-1. Dylan Mook on first, Michael Mook on deck, Clayton Dalrymple the batter. He shows bunt. The ball is low, 2-1. As third baseman Mike Rampone was making his way into the infield grass after Dalrymple showed bunt again. Looking at Chad Gerwick on the third base coaching line, getting a signal. Dalrymple ahead in this at bat right now, 2-1. The pitch from Zach Thompson is foul down the first base line as a hit and run was ordered, but spoiled with the foul ball, 2-2.
With the second baseman covering, there was a hole there between first and second. That's where Clayton was trying to shoot that one through.
So it counts even again at 2-2. The Broncos have put runs up in the last 2 innings. They'll try to make it 3 consecutive in this inning. As a ball is thrown, and Dylan Muka steals second without a throw.
He really got an excellent jump there. Had a good read on Zach Thompson's move and stole it without a throw.
So the count is full, 3-2. Three-two pitch is hit to the second baseman. It's stopped and thrown to first by Haberstroh, and 1 out. But Dalrymple does his job and advances Dylan Muka to third, something that the Broncos have really needed to work on. And lately we've been seeing more of some good situational hitting from this Bronco offense. As the infield is now in, with Dylan Muka on first, Michael Muka the batter, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Muka is hit out to left center field. And it's going to drop. Dylan Muka scores. Michael Muka making his way to third. He slides and he's safe. As the ball gets past Rampone at third. And how about Michael Muka? Chad Gerwick had the stop sign up as Muka was rounding second. Either Michael didn't see it or he just felt good and he wanted to get to third base. Nevertheless, Muka comes up with a big hit. The Broncos lead 5-0, and we're going to get a BJ's pitching change with Cameron Knight coming up to bat. Broncos really done a good job these last 3 innings getting the bats going. They lead 5-0. We'll see if the Broncos can tack some more on here at McDonald Stadium. Stay tuned. More El Dorado Bronco baseball coming up.
Now pitching for the Liberal BJs, number 23, Dustin Luna. Coming to plate number 7, Cameron Knight.
Cameron Knight batting for the Broncos as Liberal has their infield in once again, down 5-0. First pitch tonight is missed by Cameron. New pitcher into the game, Dustin Luna. Max Hogan on deck. No balls and a strike to Cameron Knight. The pitch is fouled down the first base line. 0-2. Cameron is 0 for 3 tonight. Grounding out to the shortstop and second baseman and flying out to right field. No balls and 2 strikes to Cameron Knight. Pitch up high, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to catcher Cameron Knight. Pitch also up high, 2-2. You remember Cameron Knight had a huge throw to second to get Zach Redding in the top half of this inning. When there was runners on first and third, Redding took second. They got him out and then got leisure to fly out to get out of the inning. Next pitch denied in there for a strike. Now a strike 3.
A little confusion there, Avery, at the plate.
Scoreboard said 2-2, so I figured it was a strikeout, but once the umpire didn't really indicate that the strikeout,
he just called it a strike. He really didn't ring him up.
And now Max Hogan, as the infield obviously moves back with 2 outs. First pitch to Hogan, low, 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 7th. El Dorado leads 5-0. One-0 pitch from Dustin Luna is chopped to the second baseman. Tosses one over to first to retire Max Hogan and retire the 7th inning. El Dorado 5, Liberal nothing. Kurt has your call coming up here as we head to the 8th inning at McDonald Stadium.
We're going to try and draw for this 50-50 drawing. Everyone get your tickets out. I need to get someone to come up here in the window and draw for me. Run. All right, the total amount raised tonight is $195. So your half, if your ticket is drawn, is $97.50. All right, we have 2 different color tickets. We've got purple and white tickets. So he just drew a purple ticket. He's going to read the number to you. Good job, thank you. The winning number is 0449969. 0449969. If you got the winning ticket, come on up here to the booth. I'll give you $97.50. Or you're welcome to donate back to the Broncos. Whatever you do. 0449969. Anybody?
So Jeremy McGowan's night is ended as he goes 7 innings and doesn't let up 1 run. And Joe Kennedy, now the new pitcher for the Broncos, as El Dorado leads 5-0, and we will hand it off over to Kurt for our 8th and 9th inning calls.
And Pam is the lucky winner tonight. Thank you, Pam.
Good night for Jeremy McGowan. He goes 7 innings, gives up 7 hits, certainly scattered those. He had 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. So 7 scoreless innings from Jeremy McGowan. And he gives way to Newman University product, Joe Kennedy. Kennedy will face 3-4-5 here in the 8th inning. Brady Cox, the catcher, leads it off. And Kennedy, of course, comes from the side. So a little different arm angle to deal with now for the BJs. Kennedy inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kennedy firing it in there to Cameron Knight. And the 1-1 pitch is off the plate, 2-1. Kennedy with a 3.32 ERA. This is his 16th appearance on the season. He's struck out 10 and walked 6. And the pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5-0 El Dorado. Visitor half of the 8th inning. The Broncos will send Fields, Oliver, and Parker to the plate in the 8th inning. And Zach Fields has already homered twice, as he will be looking for number 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff batter here, Brady Cox. And the pitch bounced down to Hogan. It's a fair ball. He'll one-hop it to Fields and retire Cox. What a play by Max Hogan. So the first out of the inning, and here comes Zach Hoffman. Hoffman, 2 for 3 tonight. A couple of singles. He was the runner who was at third base when Alec Isaac hit a ground ball to third. He tried to score. Max Hogan came home. And after a short rundown, he was retired. That was really one of the better scoring opportunities that Liberals had tonight. They sent 4 batters in the first inning, 3 in the second. That third inning, they had a 5-batter inning as a second pitch is ball 1, strike 1. Then they had that fourth, and then really the last 3 innings, it's been 4 batters, and 4 batters. So McGowan really very efficient tonight. Kennedy's pitch close. It's just inside, ball 2. Tomorrow night is honoring the Veterans Night. We will probably be able to provide video of that. Here's the 2-1. It's outside, 3-1. They're going to start that at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So our first pitch tomorrow will probably be about 7:20 or so. So we won't have any, we probably won't say a whole lot, let you watch and listen to the festivities here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Foul ball on the 3-1 by Zach Hoffman, and now it's 3-2. Seth Stevens waits on deck. Kennedy is set. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, and fouled down to the third base coach. So still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tough night for Zach Thompson. He went 2/3 of an inning for Liberal, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, or 1 run, I should say. Kennedy's 3-2, just inside, ball 4. So Hoffman works a walk. So Seth Stevens comes up 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Left-handed batter is Seth Stevens. Stevens from Nichols State, Greenwell Springs, Louisiana, and he gets under one. Foul territory. Max Hogan has room, though, and he'll field it for the second out. And that'll bring up Rampone, who struck out in the second. Sacrifice bunt in the fourth. Put Liberal in a good spot with runners at second and third and one out. They did not score, and then Rampone flew out to Sam Lane out in center field in the sixth inning. We do invite your comments right there on your YouTube screen. You can drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you wherever you might be listening tonight. Here's a ground ball out to Morgan Oliver, a two-hopper. He flips over to Levi Parker to end the top of the eighth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left. We're through 7.5. Broncos 5, BJ 0. Back in a moment from El Dorado.
One more minute for the Broncos fans. Don't forget to come out tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a big celebration here to honor our veterans. Tomorrow night's Veterans Night at McDonald Stadium. All veterans are asked to attend the game and be recognized for your service to our country. So please join us tomorrow night at Ballpark to watch some great baseball and help us honor our veterans by saying thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedoms. We'll have some special guests at the game tomorrow night. All the festivities start at 7 o'clock. First pitch will probably be around 7:20. Come on out and enjoy the night with watching some Broncos baseball and honoring our veterans. Again, that's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock right here at Radlong Field at McDonald Stadium. Leading up this inning for your El Dorado Broncos, your first baseman, number 39.
Welcome back to El Dorado. 5-0 Broncos, and a big reason they have a 5-0 lead is this gentleman coming up to the plate, Zach Fields. 3 for 3 tonight, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a double. So here's the pitch, and a strike from Dustin Luna. Luna did a good job when he came in with 1 away in the 7th. He got a strikeout of Cameron Knight and a ground out of Max Hogan. And that pitch high and tight. Ball 1, strike 1 to Fields. 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored for Zach Fields tonight. And the 1-1 pitch off speed, and Fields is way in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fields awaits the 1-2 from Luna, and gas down low, ball 2. Fields, Oliver, and Parker, the scheduled 3 here in the 8th inning. Luna's 2-2 pitch, and swing and a miss from Zach Fields. Still a great night for Zach.
Now at the plate, number 10, your shortstop, Morgan Oliver.
So it's Morgan Oliver coming to the plate. Oliver with a couple of groundouts and a single back in the 6th inning. 1 for 3 for Morgan, shortstop from Central Michigan. So we're on the air tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Looks like first pitch right around 7:20 or so. And a swing and a miss at the first offering from Luna. And then these two teams again Sunday night at 7 o'clock. And Sunday will mark the final home game of the season for El Dorado, which will also mean our final broadcast unless the Broncos can make it to Wichita in the World Series. Here's Oliver down deep and out. Morgan Oliver with a home run right over the 323 side in left field. So Morgan Oliver dialing long distance here in the 8th inning.
Now with the plate, your second baseman, number 2, Levi Parker.
So 3 home runs tonight for the Broncos. They won last night 14-0. They're on top 6-0 tonight. So after a rough early part of the week, 2 straight games, they've shut out their opponents for 17 innings, and they've accumulated 20 runs. Here's Levi Parker. 1 for 2 with a walk and a single, and he'll look at strike 1. Ball 1, strike 1. The Broncos with single runs in the 5th, 7th, and 8th, and a 3 spot in the 6th inning. Here's a pitch on the outside corner, strike 2. Sam Lane waits on deck for El Dorado. Liberal will send 7, 8, 9 to the plate in the 9th inning. Isaac, Haberstroh, and Duggar are the scheduled 3. Here's Parker reaching out, taps one down to third base. Fielding is Rampone, fires to first, not in time. Going to be an infield single for Levi Parker. Rampone, just a little bit of a bobble there, but Levi really running hard, does a tough play. And a single given to Parker, so he's 2 for 3 tonight. Here's Sam Lane. Lane and Cameron Knight are the only 2 Broncos who have not reached base tonight. There's a check on Levi over at first base. He falls right on the base. Parker stole a base back in the 5th inning. Sam Lane, a ground out to short, popped out to third, ground out to third, and a line out to short. His last one, he really laced it well, but right at Kyle Leisure. No balls and a strike to Sam Lane. And the pitch, and Lane kind of got fisted there as he fights it off foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Sam Lane hitting just under 300, officially 289 coming into tonight. That's going to drop a little bit with an 0 for 4 right now. He needs a hit. Here's the pitch, and Lane watches it off the outside corner, ball 1. Lane's got 24 hits this year in 83 attempts. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss from Sam Lane. So a rough night for the Bronco leadoff hitter. He goes 0 for 5. So Luna has struck out 2 guys in this inning, but he's given up a home run to Morgan Oliver and a single to Levi Parker. Here's Dylan Muka. Muka, 1 for 3 with a walk. He's scored a run and he stole a base as well. Here's the pitch from Luna. Hits out to left field, and that'll drop in for a single and then past the left fielder. So that will allow an extra base. It's got to be a hit in air, I would think, there.
Now to play number 5 from Kansas State University, your designated hitter, Quentin Dalrymple.
So just a hit. Gary's getting nice here in the late innings. That was certainly looked like a single in an air. It'll be a double for Dylan Muka. So runners at second and third for Clayton Dalrymple out of the University of Kansas State. Clayton's 1 for 4 tonight, a couple of strikeouts. Single and scored a run in the 6th and grounded out to second in the 7th inning. So he's batting for the 3rd straight inning. He batted in the 6th, 7th, and now the 8th. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. El Dorado 6, Liberal 0. And the pitch from Luna, it's 1-0, and that pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Luna's struck out 2 and given up 3 hits in the inning, including a long ball to Morgan Oliver. Runners at second and third for the Broncos. They've got a 6-run cushion. Dalrymple would like to add to it, and he fouled that one off for his second strike. 1-2 on Clayton Dalrymple. Liberal 10-15 entering play tonight in the Jayhawk. El Dorado 8-17, so a chance to draw a game closer to 4th place. And Luna's pitch is hit out over to first base, and a nice leaping catch by Zach Hoffman will save a couple of runs. But 1 run for the Broncos on 3 hits. No errors, 2 left. We head to the 9th. El Dorado 6, Liberals 0. Back in a moment here on YouTube.
Are hosted by the birthday girl. Being the short, she apparently thinks really well because they've been hitting the ball tonight. So those were her birthday gifts from Morgan Oliver and Zach Fields. Now playing first base for the El Dorado Broncos, number 19, Wade Scranton. And pitching for your El Dorado Broncos, number 20, out of the University of Nebraska Kearney, Chase Gulzo. There you go. Don't take it off. Up tonight is Jason Gulzo. Nebraska Kearney, 6'3", 175, Gulzo. 47.
So welcome back. Couple of changes for the El Dorado Broncos as we head to the 9th inning. Wade Stramp takes over for Zach Fields over at first base. And to close it out, the Broncos hope at least to close it out, Chase Gulzo. So for Liberal tonight, they get to see really 2 of the top pitchers for El Dorado in Gulzo and McGowan. Gulzo with a minuscule .47 ERA on the season. For Chase, this is his 11th appearance on the year. 6-0 Broncos, 0-7-1 for Liberal, 6-12-1 for the homestanding Broncos. And the first pitch squaring was Isaac, but before he could even maybe attempt to bunt, that ball was zinging past him. Strike 1 from Chase Gulzo. Isaac tonight 0 for 3. Strikeout, hit into a fielder's choice, and popped out to short. No balls and 1 strike. And Gulzo takes a deep breath, fires it in there, and a foul ball, 0-2. We had a scoreless game through 4. Both starting pitchers really dominant. But the Broncos got a Zach Fields home run in the 5th, which really seemed to loosen things up for the Bronco offense. They scored 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. No balls, 2 strikes to Alec Isaac, and the pitch is popped up in the infield. Levi Parker comes racing in, and he'll go to one knee and make the catch for the first out.
So right now the Broncos, let me check this one more time, they have not allowed a run for the last 19 innings.
9 last night, 8 in the 3rd so far tonight, and I'm guessing an inning or so against Derby?
Yep, 1 inning.
Nice to see you after really having 4 miserable days pitching on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Good night last night, great night here tonight as well. And a swing and a miss from Brian Haberstroh, the second baseman. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out. 7 shutout innings from Jeremy McGowan with 7 strikeouts. A clean sheet for Kennedy in the 8th, and now Gulzo ahead 1-2 with 1 away here in the 9th. Just a walk allowed by Joe Kennedy in the 8th inning. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch, high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Haberstroh goes to the New Jersey Institute of Technology from Columbia, Pennsylvania. So NJIT. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Gulzo's pitch off the plate, ball 3. Robert Duggar waits on deck. Duggar's had a good night for the BJs. He's been on base all 3 times, 2 for 3 officially. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Haberstroh, and that may have nicked him. Yep, it did. So Haberstroh walked down to first base with a hit by pitch. So Robert Duggar comes up. Duggar with a double in the 3rd inning. Reached on a Morgan Oliver error in the 5th inning, and then another double in the 7th inning. He is the number 9 hitter for the BJs tonight. Freshman from Magnolia, Texas. He goes to Cisco College. And he's swinging at the first delivery from Gulzo and fouls it into the parking lot. Big weekend series here with the BJs to close out the home portion of the schedule for the Broncos. Gulzo's got his sign. And the pitch hit back to Chase, off of him, over to Morgan Oliver, steps on second, over to first, and that will end the game. Terrific pitching night for the 2nd straight night for the El Dorado Broncos. They scatter 7 hits. In fact, the relievers didn't allow a hit. 6-0 the final score in favor of El Dorado. And Avery, you know, good pitching is the key, and Jeremy McGowan gave him a great start. Zach Fields had a huge night at the plate, and the relievers, you know, when it works out this way, you can get a starter 6 or 7 innings, and you can go Kennedy and Gulzo. This team can be very tough to beat.
Yeah, it turns into winning a 7-inning game compared to a 9-inning game. That's what you got to do with your starting pitchers, is hopefully you have those relief pitchers that are automatic, which the Broncos do if they can get to them. And it helps whenever you lead 6-0. It takes a little pressure off those pitchers whenever they're not put in pressure situations every time they come in.
Zach Fields, the hitting hero tonight, 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, a double, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. The time of tonight's game, 2 hours and 28 minutes. The winning pitcher, Jeremy McGowan. The losing pitcher is Justin Schnedler. There was no save. 0-7-1 for Liberal, 6-12-1 for the Broncos. Tomorrow night, a special night at the stadium, as we'll be honoring the veterans. We'll have video of the ceremony, and then be ready for first pitch around 7:20 or so, as Liberal and El Dorado battle again tomorrow night. So, for Avery Olsen, Kurt Caden, bidding you good night. Thanks so much for watching and listening, as this has been Bronco Baseball here on YouTube.